I want to tell you about a problem I encountered that changed how I think about assessment. In 2023, I came back to visit my community and saw cannabis shops shutting down, not because owners lacked competency, but because the credentialing system was designed to exclude them. Spanish-dominant professionals, Creole-speaking entrepreneurs, non-traditional learners, adults with real knowledge and years of experience were being systematically locked out of economic opportunity because assessment systems weren't designed for them. That's when I made a decision. I was going back to school to study assessment, equity, and fixes. I found Jane verbatim to create compliance training and assessment systems that serve communities, not exclude them. This isn't academic theory for me. This is about liberating my community through assessment justice. My master's in education work taught me that Messick's construct validity framework is foundational. Validity isn't about measuring consistently. It's about measuring what you claim to measure, measuring fairly, and understanding the consequences of that measurement. Here's the problem. Traditional cannabis compliance assessments measure isolated knowledge recall. The job requires synthesizing verification, regulation, and customer service under real-world pressure. These are completely different constructs. When assessment measures something other than intended competency, we create construct-irrelevant variance, noise in the system. For Spanish-dominant and Creole-speaking professionals, this noise often comes from language proficiency, clouding the measurement of actual skill. There's a simple analogy. Reliability is hitting the same spot consistently. Validity is hitting the right spot. You can be reliably wrong. Traditional cannabis compliance assessments are highly reliable. Chromebox Alpha 0.87, but they measure test-taking ability, not competence. That's why high scores don't predict real-world performance. Only when assessment correlates with actual job performance do you have valid measurement. Here's what I discovered researching this. Spanish-dominant professionals with 8 years of experience scored 64%. English-dominant people with 6 months scored 89%. The gap wasn't competency. It was language proficiency. This is construct-irrelevant variance in action. Solano Flores research shows ELL students scored 20 to 30% lower on non-linguistic subjects due poorly to linguistic load, not knowledge. Think about what that means. Capable professionals losing a third of their score because the assessment is demanding English proficiency instead of measuring compliance competency. For Spanish-dominant and Creole-speaking professionals, this is systemic exclusion. But this is more than a measurement problem. This is consequential validity violation. Assessment validity includes consequences. If a professional scores lower because the system excludes them, the test isn't valid, regardless of statistics. This realization became Jane verbatim's foundation. I created assessment systems that are simultaneously valid, reliable, and equitable. The solution is measurement invariance, maintaining consistent standards while enabling multiple pathways, written, verbal, demonstration-based, so language doesn't become a barrier to showing what you know. Two distinct threats exist simultaneously. Construct-irrelevant variance adds noise through language. Construct underrepresentation removes signal by missing essential competencies like synthesis and decision-making under pressure. Both threats together make assessment structurally incapable of measuring what matters. The solution requires addressing both. Eliminate language barriers through multiple pathways and expand assessment to capture full competency. The solution is an ecosystem, not hierarchy. Center circle. Non-negotiable federal compliance standards measured identically for everyone. Middle circle. Cultural context and local responsiveness. Outer circle. dynamic adaptation to regulatory changes. Each layer protects the other. This creates measurement invariance, consistent standards through multiple pathways. Written assessment in English, Spanish, Creole, and other languages. Verbal assessment, preserving communication styles. Demonstration-based assessment, honoring how professionals actually work. Each pathway measures the same competency. No language barriers. Research by Gonzalez and Park shows culturally responsive assessment increases validity by 35 to 45% for marginalized populations, while reducing disparate impact by 28 to 40%. But evidence matters. Expert review panels rated our assessment framework at 0.76 workplace alignment, moving from essentially invalid to genuinely valid based on assessment design principles. On equity, traditional single language assessments create 25% performance gaps. Our multi-pathway design theoretically achieves measurement invariance, reducing gaps to 3%. Organizations using similar, authentic, culturally responsive assessment report, 47% reduction in compliance violations and 23% improvement in retention. That 0.76 tells a story. We're building systems that measure what actually matters. This points towards larger research. Hypothesis 1. Culturally responsive assessment achieves 35 to 45% higher validity and 28 to 40% lower disparate impacts. Hypothesis 2. Authentic assessment with clear rubrics achieves reliability equals to standardized tests while maintaining superior validity. Hypothesis 3. Co-designed assessment systems where learners achieve 50% higher fairness ratings and 35% validity improvement. Testing these across communities would advance assessment science towards justice. The traditional question is, how do we verify people pass a test? This treats assessment as exclusion. What do we ask differently? How do we recognize knowledge people already have and help them thrive? This treats assessment as liberation. That's the choice I made. The cannabis industry is moving toward mature regulatory framework. We need assessment systems that honor that maturity and honor communities.